Man, has this been a weird week for reviews here on the channel. I mean, we started the week off by looking at a Wave 3 character of the Netflix series, and then we went to Wave 2, and now, even though we're not finished Wave 1 of the Kingdom line, I still don't have Megatron, we move on to this guy, Wave 2. This is Huffer, and he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, and all of my social media links. All of that in the description below, of course. While you're at it, if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. And this is the Kingdom Wave 2 Deluxe Class Huffer. And the dude has quite the backpack, but it's not as obtrusive as one might think. There are some differences here from the way that the promotional images and whatnot looked, and a couple of really clever things done along the way. I like the guy, but is he a deluxe? I don't know. Let's dig into everything to do with this guy when we head over to the table. And yes, indeed, even though we're not quite done Wave 1 of Transformers Kingdom yet, still waiting on my leader class Megatron. He still hasn't arrived, even though he's been pre-ordered since like November. We're gonna kick it off with Wave 2 and Huffer. And you know, we have all of the bits and pieces here. There's a lot to look at, but before we dive into Huffer himself, he's kind of an interesting study. Let's look at the packaging first. It is Kingdom packaging. We have the vehicle mode of Huffer there and the other mode up here. If we go to the back, of course we know it's on the side. On the back we have the product images. Now, just a couple of things to note here. The hands are silver. On the actual guy, the hands are black. I wish they had stayed silver because they're supposed to be silver. And the bottom of his feet is orange there. It's gray on the actual guy. I kind of, like, I think orange would have been better, but I kind of don't care. It's fine. It's fine. So this card says Optimus Prime, and we've seen Optimus Prime before, but this time, interestingly, when we peel it back, it's not Dead Prime. It's just Optimus again. Big, bright, bold, beautiful instructions that are easy to follow. Now let's get this out of the way right away. There's absolutely, positively no comparison between these two. The new Huffer is definitely not a Legends offering. I mean, you can see the significant size difference, the mass, the engineering. No, it's not a Legends offering. But is it enough to make it a full-on deluxe offering? Well, we're going to just take that out of it, just for interest's sake. Here we have Huffer next to my custom Netflix Cheetor, just so you can see, right? You know, he's definitely like a deluxe-ish size now. Still smaller than certain other guys. It's a bit weird. Like, where he's a mini-bot, I would expect him to be smaller, but it's kind of like with Deluxe Warpath. Like, I'm okay with this guy being bigger because he's a cab of a truck. Like, I get that Huffer, and probably Pipes, should be a little bit bigger. By the way, we're getting apparently some sort of, like, golden disc collection reuse, repaint of this guy as Puffer? I don't know. I heard that was the Japanese name they use for Pipes, so I don't know. Maybe Pipes is coming out that way. I don't know. But it's weird. There's no doubt about it. Now, let's get into the scores for this guy. First things first, the paint apps. They're pretty good. To be fair, we have gray on the abdomen and on the thighs. Sometimes that's more like this like periwinkle, I don't know what you call it, like light baby blue type of color that's up on his chest. Sometimes that's the same thing. So, and sometimes it's gray. So I think either would be fine. If you had the gray hair, it's fine. If you had like that light blue, also fine. Depends on the animation of the time. What is jarring, however, is I wish that the hands were silver. They're supposed to be silver, man, not black. That is a little bit of a bummer, not gonna lie. Otherwise, the shape of everything looks good. The shape of the head looks good. The cab up over the back, everything is good, man. I'm down with it. I'm going to say that the look of the guy, oh, and his toes shouldn't be gray either, obviously. But most of it is there, like it's definitely Huffer. But just a couple of little things could have made it better. I personally would have liked the more periwinkly, bluey, light bluey color where the gray is, but it's fine the way it is, I guess. And I wish the hands were silver. I'm going to say it's a 9.25. Honestly, it's about a 9.25. Now the paint that's done though is done really well and very nicely, so I dig it. His blaster, of course, is up on his arm. He has a port up on his upper arm, on his lower arm, on his feet, on the sides of his legs, on his back, so he can take a lot of like weaponizer, fossilizer parts, if you're so inclined. That being said, his shield piece that's over on this arm, that's difficult to get to peg it anywhere. I'd hoped that it would peg back here, but these light pieces seem to keep that from happening. A lot of silver paint used on this guy, including on the tires and stuff. So like I get it, I like it. His mass comes in at about 73 grams. Now, I've been saying all along, right back to when we got like Reflector, for example, in Siege. I don't like that they are trying to redefine the amount of mass that goes into a deluxe lower from 84 traditionally grams down to 72 at the time, and I've seen it as low as 61 with Cheeto or as low as 35 with Black Arachnia, but 72 seems like it's where they're trying to land. This guy's 73, but he does have a lot of paint. I don't feel like he's a full-on deluxe. Here in Canada that's $29.99. But he's definitely not a Legends. I feel like a good price for this sort of in-between size class would have probably been $21, $22.99 Canadian, which would probably be $15, $16 US, like almost a deluxe, but I'd like to see a little bit more for a deluxe. The back of the legs, hollow, 100%. I get why it is because of the way the transformation goes, but a lot of people are going to be put off by that. I'm not, but a lot of people will be. He stands like a champion. You'd figure he'd be back heavy, but he's not. The articulation, well, we do have a head that, I'll pick that off. It can go left and right and kind of up and down. With the cab over, it's difficult to do that. His blaster here, we can take that off, and this thing, we can take that off. It goes into the hands and stuff as well. The arms, they can go all the way around. Way out to the side, bicep swivel. Now there's a gray, like the swivel and hinge for the elbow. The elbow is 90 degrees. It's gray, and up here silver and down here silver. I wish that this was also silver. No wrist. Now, this is the interesting thing. So the mass has already been lost and gone down, and when we got things like Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee and whatnot, everybody said, yeah, but look at all the articulation, waist and ankle tilt and wrist swivel. Okay, now we're starting to lose wrist swivel. There's no hollowness on those. Now we have hollowness in the back of the legs. This is what I've been saying all along. If, as a fandom, we accept that the mass goes down, we've already lost it. It's like in union negotiations, man. You ain't getting it back. What are you prepared for that price point to start losing next? Parts count, which will mean hollowness, and less articulation. You know, accessories, like where do you draw the line? So it's something to watch out for here. I think he should have had a wrist swivel. I get that there's a transformation here, but I think that there should have been a wrist swivel worked in here. I don't like seeing that. Waist, he does have a waist, which is cool, awesome. Leg all the way forward, leg all the way back. Pretty out to the side, man. Like yeah, like full out to the side. We have a thigh swivel. It's built inside. I love this. I love when you have a mushroom and it's built inside so it doesn't break up the sculpt of the leg. That's really smart and clever. Super duper deep knee because of transformation, but it is there. And we have an ankle tilt. Acceptable ankle tilt. I wish we had a wrist. That's it. Again, I'm going to say 9.5, 9.25, and a 9.5. The guy's scoring well. I feel like he's a little light for a deluxe, you know, on the features and whatnot, but he is scoring well. What about the transformation? Well, let's do that next. We pick this whole piece off the front. We turn the head all the way around. We bring the whole body out. We take these arms, we bring them down by the side. We bring them down all the way. Actually, I guess you can actually do it this way. Let's do it this way. Put the arms facing back. Probably the best way to do this. Okay? Right? They're facing back like that. Now we come in here, we take these tires out. Mine like to pop off a bit, so I take them by the actual like joint in behind and push them out, not just the tire itself. Once you got that done, you should be able to close this up just to be in underneath. This comes up and down over. Now, for the arms, they actually tab in a couple of locations. They are intended to tab in on the hips. I can only get them to tab in on one side of the hip, not both. Then we have to turn them. Which way do they go turn? Like this. There. You know which way to turn them because the hands will be facing inside. It's important to turn them that way because we have like a rectangular peg hole in here, and there's rectangular pegs back here that this will peg into. So we turn this like this, and we put the hand in, and then the cab should peg into the arms. One arm in, that's the other arm in, like that. Then we take the heels down, we put the legs together, we bring these all the way up around, and then we fold in the legs, and boom, we have Huffer in his vehicle mode. Straighten that up just a little bit. It's a little bit weird though, because if you look underneath, the tires, well, yeah, like I feel like the front tires are in closer to each other than the back tires are. Nevertheless, when you put him down, he rolls like an absolute champion. Using this back here, we can actually take the trailer of Earthrise Optimus Prime, as has been mentioned in the past, and yes, he can take that trailer and he can turn. Here's the thing, there's two pegs there. A lot of people say you can't turn them. Yeah, you can. If you use the back peg, you can turn them just fine. Or the back peg hole, I guess I should say. That leaves his, like this piece and stuff. There's nothing really you can do with it when you put Optimus's trailer on here. This is very much what we had for a G1 version of this guy. Now you'll also notice we have two more peg holes up here. By the way, I like that this is molded in such a way that it's like metal plating. Like it's not just plain, it's actually molded like metal plating. Nice attention to detail. But we have to use those two peg holes for these two pegs up right here, so that this will actually go on and store like that in this mode. Did I get it in both sides? Don't think I quite got it there. Now I got it in both sides. Okay, cool, I guess. Then I do think that this is clever. We take the blaster, and using a little kind of slit here at the bottom, you should be able to split the blaster in two, and then when you do that, you will notice that you have like orange, like kind of on the inside, right? This is the outside painted, this is the orange inside. We have a rectangular slot out here that goes over a rectangular peg that's on the shield piece. So we should be able to get this on over like that on that side, and then do the same thing on the other side. And that is what we have in totality with a truck bed for Huffer. But I don't feel like we need the truck bed. Without that stuff, I think the guy is still fine. If you don't want to use the shield piece and you want to put that aside and just use his blaster will not be able to connect via this method without that bed piece there, because that's what it's connected to, not the truck itself. Rolls great. Looks great. The transformation makes sense. I do wish that we were able to somehow fold these hands away a bit better, but it's okay. It doesn't, I'm not going to hold that against it. I think it works fine for a Huffer. I think it looks the part. I think it's a nice feature. He can pull the trailer. He was getting a 9.5 or so for his overall look. Actually, I think it was a 9.5 for his overall look. A 9.25 or so for his articulation. So he was scoring quite well. The transformation, again, it's easy, it's quick, it's enjoyable. I'm going to say that the transformation works well for the most part. 9.75 to a 10 overall. This is an excellent Huffer. He's about a 9.5. It's fantastic. I do think he's slightly overpriced. I don't think he's quite deluxe, but I do think he's an excellent Huffer. And here we are once again, and here he is, and like he's good, he's excellent actually, but I feel like he's a little overpriced at deluxe. He's not a Legends by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, we've already lost the mass from traditional mass, and I said then, if you accept that, what are you willing to accept next? Are you willing to accept the hollowness next, so less parts count? Are you willing to accept loss of articulation, because now we've lost wrists here? There's things here, there's trends here I don't like to see, but the guy is quite excellent. Here in Canada, the going price now went up again for these guys, so they rang in at $32.99 for a deluxe. That's too much for this guy. I feel like about $25.99, $26.99 Canadian is about right. If we're talking US prices, I feel like about $17.99 or so is right for this guy. Like, he's excellent, but I feel like a deluxe is just a little bit too pricey for the, you know, the yard that this guy's playing in. He's excellent, and while I feel like I overpaid a few dollars for him, I'm very happy with him because I think he's turned out really, really well. Slightly overpriced, but at least you're getting an excellent Huffer. Let me know what you think about this guy. He's definitely better than the Combiner Wars. I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button while you're at it. Hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day you do make a difference, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.